Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Monday, September 17, 2018. We've had a series of requests to walk through the process that we use to prepare seating, engine box, and other components for upholstery. So we've re-engaged in the 1946 Gar Wood Ensign project. We will finish her in a few months. And at present, our task is all around rebuilding seating bases, rebuilding seating backs where they are decayed, and dealing with this poor engine box. On the Ensign, the engine box sits aft to forward. The forward end backs right up and engages the center post of the forward or helm station seat back. There's a block of wood here, a piano hinge, and so it rotates up to expose the engine and comes back down. Well, it is also completely upholstered with a nice strip of padded gray extending about this far down on the sides all the way around, and then the Gar Wood dark blue beneath it. One of the issues we always encounter in these old boats is the insulation that we find in the engine boxes. Usually it's been glued and screwed and bollocksed all up, and we can't save it. And of course also it's always filthy dirty, and trying to clean this, I would say call it a quasi-cork material, is just awful. Well, as I pulled this apart, there are strips of wood that run and frame the insulation panels and also stiffen the engine box all around both sides, and as you can see, these are still here. So I was taking this apart, and I pulled this panel out, put it down, pulled this ugly panel out, put it up, and already had this one out. I said, well, wait a minute, this thing's symmetrical. If I just turn this over and slide it in, I have brand new insulation panels. And it's true all the way around. All of them are in perfect condition on the reverse side. So we will be able, when we reassemble this engine box, to reuse the original insulation panels, which is really important because that gives it the look of originality that Snake Mountain Boat Works shoots for. Now, we ran into some other problems. We got a whoop-de-doo working here. Both of these panels, both these sticks that attach right here are badly warped, badly torn. This one's the worst. I think you can see the hook that's in it. They're decayed. The best thing to do with these, and not a happy thing to do, is to replace them. And this is some kind of soft, well, maybe it's mahogany, but it just has not fared well. It has not fared well over the years. We have to take this out. The opening of the engine box, as you can see, is its Achilles heel, or maybe its wings that flap in the breeze. There's an angle iron structure that was affixed in here, and we will put back. The problem with it is it was held in the corners by two common steel machine bolts. Well, you know what happened to those holes and those bolts over the years, so this thing would just do this. John and I worked for a couple of hours and finally were able to secure this angle iron structure in exactly the right conformation, and it is currently at our metal fabricator. Once it comes back, this will be solidly welded at both corners, and the wings should be nevermore. And now we move from the engine box to seating and the dashboard. The first thing we see is the seat back, the aft seat back. You can see the hangers. It is hung in this manner with the bow up there, and probably tough to see at that distance and this resolution. But the one act we continually do is to toothpick all old screw holes, nail holes, staple holes, and in this case, doing so allows our upholsterer, when she pulls the fabric over and drives new staples in, they actually go into wood, not into holes. We have toothpicked all the way down the sides, and the bottom half of this seat back plank was this ugly, grisly, delaminated piece of CDX plywood, not even marine plywood. It was just garbage. It was thicker than this one. It was screwed on with 3 screws on each end. Just a beautiful thing, a beautiful sight. John repaired it, and here we have a piece of pine. This is actually, I think this is cedar, but I just couldn't find any cedar this wide, and we didn't want to have to biscuit a joint all the way across for a seat back. We stripped it, sanded it, applied 3 coats of clear penetrating epoxy sealer to it as both a sealer and in this case a primer. Many people maybe are not aware of the fact that CPES is probably one of the most effective primers you can use. We use it on everything. And so this seat back is ready to go to upholstery. From there we move to seating bases. These were just scary. Here are the components to the aft seat deck bench. 4 of the support triangles were just broken, warped. The holes in them were so worn there was nothing we could do. We were able to save these. This is the This is the vertical piece that runs along the back of the forward seat bench. This is the bottom half of the forward seat bench, and then there is the top half, which is a nice piece of mahogany that stands proud of these guys. You can see it'll be about here, and the purpose of that is then you drop your cushions in and they don't slide off. The same piece on the aft seat base was savable. We saved it. John had to do one epoxy patch here, and that's really just cosmetic, not structural. Then we come to the dashboard, and here I left the toothpicks on so that you could enjoy them fully. Once we get these all done, and you see all those toothpicks are where the previous upholstery was attached to the dashboard. They used little tiny nails. It wasn't the original upholstery, but it was pretty close to the right color. And then finally we have the base for the aft seating. And all of this, except for the two pieces which will be finished bright, all of this has been sealed and is ready for paint, and we will apply several coats of Sandusky bilge paint to all of these surfaces. And you say, why? All of this is going to be inside and behind the upholstery. Paint protects wood really well. It will all be painted. That's simply our standard. Now let's move and take a look at the Helm Station's seat back. So now we're at the Helm Station seat back, which is quite a structure. The engine box we saw before pivots down and engages against these vertical planks. This piece of mahogany and finishes off the top. The engine box will just engage right here, and then way down at the bottom, two very nice pieces of trim that we will finish bright. All this is exposed. This piece of mahogany will be finished bright, so it'll look just like the rest of the gunnels do here. And the rest of this, which is always exposed, will be painted the light Sandusky bilge paint that was very typical of Gar Wood.